more guests in the studio.
Yeah, Trobs, what's up?
That is this monster. It's time for milkshake.
Sleep and you go,
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a villager tavern to raise your inner child. And for those of us who found it, that's what makes us Villager People!
All right. Hello and welcome to the Villager People podcast, recorded live at the one, the only historic Villager Tavern. I'm Brennan Sharp, and this is my co-host, Andrew Perot.
Hey guys, I think, oh wait. We have another person that we reached out to replace Tomas. Hold on.
We have more guests in the studio.
Yeah, Trobs, what's up?
But next time.
Go back to sleep. All right, bye.
Yeah.
But next time.
So,
Could have a
Andrew,
lineup.
who do we have here in the studio with us?
We have Abby Trozenski, right? I've actually known Abby for years and never knew her last name or how to say it today. I know I've seen it on paper. And then we have a last-minute addition, which we're good at doing, Miss Riley McNamara.
Hey.
All right, give it up for him.
Welcome. Yeah. And, of course, we have Suze Crowley back as our producer. We're glad to have her back in the captain's seat, so it's really good. And behind her, we've got David.
David Dyatlov, yeah.
David Dyatlov. He'll be on later, but he might be in frame now. So
He has to go to church, so we don't know how to time that just
yeah,
yet.
it's Sunday morning, and everybody here is so dedicated to their craft that they came here first before going on to church. So we're grateful for that.
But yeah, so we will be having another guest come on later, which is how do you say Tomas's last name? Richman. Wow, it doesn't look like that when I look at it.
It's German. Literally translated, it means right man. Righteous
Oh.
Okay.
He's the right man for the podcast.
Yeah, and you were telling us that even though your last name is Polish, that you're actually Irish, right? Like
I am.
You're adopted.
Mm-hmm. Well, my dad was.
Your dad was adopted.
I am very much a child of my parents. I'm a redhead and 3 brothers, 2 redheads and 1 brunette. We used to tell him he was adopted.
Oh my God.
But I'm a German teacher, which is how I met Riley.
Yeah.
Oh. How
Yeah.
long have you two known each other?
So we met fall of 2019. I was a voice major at Vanderbilt, and one of the requirements was that we took a full year of either French, German, or Italian. I chose German. Abby was my teacher.
Wow.
And she was just a hoot. And I was like, you know what? After I graduate this class, I'm going to be friends with Abby. And that's exactly what happened.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
I love stories like that.
Yeah, I think we have a photo on the wall somewhere in here, but
Yeah.
Right in the back.
yeah.
Abby
Yeah.
was touting it. She was like, "Oh, I'll call Riley. We have a photo of it here."
I know
It's
there's
relevant.
evidence that I've been here before.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've been coming here for, I think, if I can recall, was it post-COVID?
I came here for the first time senior year, so 2019, but then post-COVID, because Abby was like, this is the place to be, I was like, okay, I want to be where the place to be is. So yeah, post-COVID was more regular.
And she was also saying you're a classically trained singer.
That's true.
Yeah. So
That's true.
Is that you're not still doing that, or are you still doing that?
Not still doing that. I do environmental consulting.
Oh, that's right. She was saying that. So,
which is also what I studied.
So
in
yes,
school.
you know Tomas pretty well, right?
I do.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because we were in the same department for a little while.
Yeah. So Tomas is one of these Kevin Bacon people.
Exactly. 7 degrees.
Yeah, everybody knows Tomas.
Everybody knows Tomas. I also did not know how to pronounce his last name until right now.
Really?
So we're learning a lot here on the podcast about
Watch me.
pronunciation.
Watch me have butchered it, though. We'll see.
Yeah, let's see what he says.
Huh.
It'll be something entirely different.
I was all classical. I was a classical mezzo. I liked singing Rossini the best. Yeah, I don't really have like a pop voice or anything, so just classical for me.
Who are your influences?
Ooh, what a good question. I feel like, was I even old enough to have influences? Always loved listening to Maria Callas. I haven't seen the new movie with her yet, but I would really like to. Joyce DiDonato, huge influence. Anyone who has like a really fast-moving voice, I was always interested in listening to.
So people that sing in more of an up-tempo
Yeah,
are an influence.
yeah, precisely.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was good. But I studied environmental with Tomas, and that's what I work in now. And yeah.
Do you have any funny Tomas stories?
Any funny Tomas stories?
Yeah. Abigail, do you mind speaking up a little?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is
there,
that
I
better?
can hear you a little better now.
Closer?
Yeah. You can pull that
Yeah,
closer.
you can move it.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
I don't think I really do have any funny Tomas stories. I would just see Tomas
Oh,
on the
you
way,
sure?
yeah, like to and from the lab.
Everyone just acts like when I brought up I don't know. It wasn't about bringing him up to have him on the podcast, but I just really maybe it's just recently. I've known Tomas for a long time, but like maybe it was somebody that I brought Tomas up in conversation with them for the first time, and they were like, "Oh wow, like oh yeah, that guy's a wild card."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Kuka in a long time, but he does have a crazy dog who I love. And I think, what is it? It's like the Portuguese word for witch, or it's some like folklore in Brazil where like the dog's name is Kuka, and that's like the witch that they use to scare children at bedtime so that they don't get out of bed and like bother their parents.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
She's like half crocodile, half witch.
Yeah.
Kuka.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my
So
fun
so
Tomas story.
so Abby, you work at Vanderbilt, right?
I do.
Yeah. So can you get into your background? It's like German, right?
Yes, I kind of cheated the system a little bit, but when I was 5, we moved to Germany, and I lived there for 5 years. So
Oh, wow, I
just
never knew
learned how
that.
to speak it, yeah. And then never stopped, so now I'm in 26th grade, trying to finish my dissertation. And, yeah, I was teaching. That's how I met Riley, and then Vanderbilt actually terminated our department. There's no more graduate programs in modern languages.
What?
Sorry.
The German chancellor did that, actually.
Yeah.
You know?
Really?
Yeah, why not?
He,
Right?
he's like I
9.
He's like, I already speak German. Why do we need to teach anyone else? We're good.
I had an existential crisis over the weekend, and I just figured we don't need to be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm just kind of grandfathered in trying to finish up, but I do write about fun things. I write about drugs and the
Oh,
pharmaceutical
please go on.
industry.
Yeah.
Go on,
Yeah.
please.
I focus on a German chemist, pharmacologist, toxicologist. His name is Louis Levin, but he was the first person to classify substances and synthesize psychedelics. So I write about addiction and psychedelic research in like the 1880s through the 1920s.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
is
you want to do
actually-
psychedelics.
Yeah, that's like the moment that I decided I wanted to be friends with Abby. Was she was like, "This is what my dissertation is about," and I was like, "We're gonna be."
I
Pals.
remember sitting we were at Dragon Park one day, and she was walking a dog. I don't guess it was your dog. I know you do. You would like see watch dogs for like a few months or care for them, right? Like,
Yeah, fostered.
yeah, foster dogs. But anyway, so you're in the park, and I ran into you, and I had to be there for an event for the bar, and you just went into the whole like, it's like I guess microdosing thing, and I was just like, this is very interesting. It's like, and I was like, how did you get, like, how did you come up with that dissertation? You did it right? It was your dissertation, right? How'd you come up with that?
So basically, a lot of the pharmaceutical industry they're from German-speaking countries, and if you think of any major drug, it's most likely been invented in Germany or Switzerland. And so based off of that, I had looked at different kinds of substances, like heroin was invented in Germany by Bayer, and then there's Merck Pharmaceuticals and Sandoz. Sandoz invented LSD. Heroin.
Crazy. Should we all go to Germany? Like, oh my god.
Yeah,
It's
well,
legal now, actually. In
Wow.
Berlin, they legalized everything. You can go to these like bars, stab bars, and you can just buy LSD and
Wow.
do it.
Wow. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay,
Did
wait.
somebody
Good
come
vibes.
back from Amsterdam? Like, we should have this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
They're
my
like,
god.
"Yeah, there's something about this.
I just went to that absinthe bar in Germantown, funnily enough, for the
Oh.
first time. And I didn't have any, but is it true that that is like a psychedelic
Oh, yeah.
drink?
Yeah,
Or like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and it was only made legal like in the last 20 years. 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember I was actually going to New York had the first one in the United States. Once they were like Wormwood's okay,
They didn't know.
They're like, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah, well, they made it legal again to have wormwood-based drinks. But so I was going to fly out, and then the original basement served it too, and it was the first place in Nashville to have it. So I'm like, why am I going to New York? I'll just go
Yeah.
up
You
the
talking about
street.
grinding?
Wow, that's
Underneath
crazy.
Grind.
Underneath,
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
the
like,
original
the
grind.
basement
Yeah.
venue.
Yeah,
The basement, the venue used to have that.
yeah, they did. They had the whole tray and the Green Ferry, the whole bit. And I went there with a
Yeah.
bunch of friends. We all did it. Every one of us had some hallucinatory experience almost
Wow.
immediately after having it. It was very strong, and everybody kind of scattered because they couldn't deal with the high because it was completely different than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never
tried.
done it. So
And I just remember trying to get everybody home because that's where they wanted to be because they
Yeah.
were feeling good, and then me getting home myself and having this like vision of being on top of a mountain trying to get away from a scorpion woman and going up to the top, and then once I got to the top, I'm like, I can't fly. How do I get away from this? And gratefully, I woke up.
Dude, I gotta try this.
Scorpion.
That's the
You
awesome
guys
part.
don't know Brandon as well as I do, but that says a lot. That says a lot.
That is a great bar too, David. That's David's date spot.
Oh,
You can
Yeah.
get really nice chocolate there.
you can. I actually just went there
Hey,
yesterday
Tomas.
to get chocolate.
All right,
How do we do this?
all right, Tomas. I don't oh, yeah, comedic gold
Man,
from
I'm
Tomas
starting-
over here.
I'm starting to think we just get two stools and put them behind these two, and
Oh,
David, you get over there too.
Tomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tomas Rechtman.
Hey!
Is that your one?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Nothing is more sure than my name saying it wrong and being late.
Yeah, so it's the it's only fitting.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Tomas here, who was we'll get into that once we get him down in the seat. Dave, Riley, it was so great for you guys to help us out and
Yes,
get some
thank
sound
you.
bites in. But we're going to go ahead and move
Yeah.
Tomas onto the table because we have limited time to shoot.
All right, Tomas.
The prodigal son
David.
returns.
Yeah. Bring it in.
Yeah, all right,
Oh,
Tomas,
is
we have.
What
I'm
am
sure
I
you won't
saying?
mind to drink some cider.
Not at all. I need anything at this point.
Good man, good man.
Yeah, it's only 10:43.
I've been known to break things and be
That
late.
should start the whole podcast.
No, actually, what happened was I told, or I asked Abby. I said, "What if?" I was like, "Why don't you and Tomas do it? I've already had coffee on," and then I was like, "But I've heard that because I mean I don't hang out with you all the time, but I've heard from other people that at least I know for Dart League I didn't notice you being like flaky, but like I've heard from other people that you can be kind of a wild card." So I said, "Well," and she goes, "Well, Michaela's here," and I was like, "Well, we'll put Michaela in the wing, and she can show up just in case Tomas is late or whatever the case may be." And so Abby walks in and she goes, "Michaela's sick." I didn't put Michaela on the group chat like an idiot. So, and I was like, "Okay." And then Abby has your location because y'all were so close. And we saw that you were in your apartment. We're like, he is so cozy right now, sitting in his bed. or whatever he's doing.
The thing is, I put alarms for this.
Oh, I bet you did. You were serious.
Woke up, forgot what they were for. Turned around, my phone dies,
Oh, great, yeah.
and then I turn around, wake up, put it in. I see your missed calls. I'm like, that was the alarms for. I'm running out the door right now.
Yeah, I that's the only thing because I'm so used to being nightlife now that when I wake up in the morning to do anything, this included, I literally think to myself after snoozing the alarm or whatever, like I have to have that second of reminding myself why I'm getting up early to make myself get up.
Yeah.
I mean, I had that same realization today, although my phone didn't die, so I got another alarm. But that happened to you and your phone died.
Yeah. And that's why I didn't get the calls because otherwise I would have been here much earlier.
Oh yeah, we know.
And I felt bad because I had offered to pick you up, and then I saw that you liked my message, and I was like, shit, was I supposed to pick him up? And then I was like, I've only ever been like in the back seat drunk when like we've taken you home, I picked you up, so I actually don't really know.
We were
So
little.
I'm like, I don't know how to get
we were
him.
literally calling Coffee because she says Coffee knows how to get to his place and where he lives. So we're on the phone trying to call Coffee to be like, hey, you could come in on the podcast or go pick Tomas up. We don't know how to get in his place. He didn't pick up.
I love the fact that we live together and now we don't know where each other live.
Yeah, that's true.
I have no idea where Abby lives now.
But you do my location, so you could.
I do. I have an
figure it
idea
out.
of an area.
Yeah. So speaking of that, you said you guys met here.
7
Right?
years
We
ago.
did, yeah. Yeah, 7 years ago. Oh.
We met because German department, as I said, and a friend of mine who's in my department, he took me here for the first time. We sat at the front. We got some hot nuts. Shout out to the hot nut machine.
Hot nuts.
Yeah. So tell us, y'all met here.
Yeah, right there on the little corner.
Bye, David. Thanks again.
Bye, David.
Behind the
Yeah.
Pac-Man booth. I remember this
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah,
I want to hear about
So
your
I
stalker,
used to
so
be
come back.
roommates with.
And Tomas, scoop to the microphone just so we get as much as we can of it.
I used to be roommates with this guy named Adam.
Shout out Adam in
Oh, shout out.
Austria.
Adam in Austria, who this is another whole other story, but Mike Brown met him in Austria,
Uh-huh.
which is another crazy story. But
That's
Oh
a
yeah,
sick
yeah.
story.
Mike Brown that throws darts. He's like the.
Yeah.
He's like the. I had a friend like him in college named Hunter, and they're like already. They feel like they already have 5 grandkids. You know what I mean? Like, they do, and I'm like, and they have no kids, and I'm like,
They're about to.
well, I mean,
Maybe.
I didn't know that. I just.
Yeah.
They're pregnant.
mm-hmm.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, are we allowed to
But anyway, go ahead. I'm
But
sorry.
yeah, so Adam, this is when I lived in this like weird fucking house on Blair, right, not too far from here.
Yeah.
And Adam was one of my roommates. He was in the same department as Abby. And then he's like, I think you would like Abby. I think y'all would like be friends too.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
And then we came here, like a bunch of us, but included Adam and Abby. And then we met, and then it was like we became friends immediately.
And
That's
how long ago?
awesome.
7 years.
7 years ago,
Wow.
And
right here
then-
at the Jure.
And then it was really funny because, well, I studied German, so we met in the spring, and then in the summer, Tomas went to Germany to do research, and I went there for work as well. And we realized we were both in Berlin, and I had lived there on and off, so we linked up, and I was like, you should meet some of my friends. And Tomas was like, yeah, a friend of mine is here, and I misunderstood him, George. And I thought he said something like, oh, he was just in France, so I thought this guy was French. And I meet Tomas, and I'm like, this guy does not sound French at all. And all of a sudden, he said something like, yeah, I live in Nashville, too. And I was like, no way, I live in Nashville. And he's like, yeah, I go to Vanderbilt. And then he said something, and he goes, yeah, I live on Fairfax. And I was like, I live on Fairfax.
Yeah, I live on
You used to live-
Fairfax.
He lived in your apartment building, in that apartment
okay,
building. And I
cool.
was like, oh my God, I live like 2 apartment buildings over. And he goes, yeah, come over sometime, use the pool. And then I looked at Tomas and I was like, that guy's not French. And he was like, George is from Nashville.
George is the most Nashville guy I
Yeah,
know.
the funny thing is, my last name is French, so yes, I'll have to meet this man. I bet I'll like him. I bet we'll be friends.
Yeah, you would like George. Shout out to George.
Shout out George.
We're pseudo-French Nashvillians.
Yeah. Actually, I saw George right over Christmas, and it was at Marshall's house, who I know Marshall because of Andrew. Andrew and Marshall played music
Oh yeah,
together.
we did back in the day, and we were in a swing band led by a photographer named
Okay.
Christian. He played violin, and the name, the infamous name of that band was Swing Booty.
That sounds vulgar.
It was a very interesting. That was probably the most interesting band experience of my life, to be
Yeah.
completely honest. And I do say that to be
Dramatic?
yes,
What made it,
to be slightly witty.
what
The-
made it so interesting?
Oh, it was such a ragtag group. I mean, it was. Christian was an
They were
amateur.
swinging with other bands.
Christian was an amateur violinist, and he was a photographer by trade. And he had brought these random people together that he knew. I can't remember how I got the call to do it. I'm sure somebody who was doing it that I knew thought it was too zany for their attention span, and just like called me. And I deal with zany like. I mean, now I found out that I'm good at dealing with zany because I run a bar. But back then I was the same way as well. I would just be there. I was a bass player. I was like, someone would be late, or they'd be like, carrying on in some crazy manner. And I'm like, I'm just here to play bass, man. You just let me know when the notes start. So it's just, but Swing Booty was a very was it was the kind of band
Wild
that you would play like you'd play like 4 gigs a year with them, and every time you saw a Christian, you were just kind of like, that is one of the more interesting people I've ever met. And there was a couple that played in there, and they were together. They broke up while I was in the band, so that would made things really complicated. But we didn't play that often, so it didn't really matter. And Marshall was in the band during that time, and Marshall plays drums. And I met Marshall again at the Villager, and he let me know that he was working for Forks. So he was still doing music stuff.
He still is. I'm watching his dog right now.
Yeah, you guys have bonded over
Wait,
this
no,
dog.
you're not. Where's the dog?
Dog's
I thought of bringing him here, but no dogs in the bar. And
We only had 5 lapel mics.
Yeah, we had 7 guests, but we.
We'd have to mic the dog too.
Mel is a people dog. He's like walked by before, maybe come into the bar just to
He's
say
a chill
hi
dog.
briefly. He's a really chill dog.
I like chill dogs.
Riley brought up Kuka and was mentioning where she got her name.
Kuka?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kuka is a creature.
The Kuka is a creature.
She is really. But
Kuka is.
Kuka itself is a creature from Brazilian folklore.
Oh wow.
And,
Go on.
The villain of a kids' TV show in Brazil.
Oh, that's right. Well, that's what she was going on about how it was
Yeah,
like.
but set us up.
Yeah.
Tell us about this, because we're gonna cut to it, JT.
Kuka is basically the hag from Hansel and Gretel,
Okay.
but also a crocodile.
Also a crocodile.
Yeah,
So
all
Peter Pan
at the same
meets
time,
Hansel and Gretel.
not separately.
Like Croc from Peter Pan.
Yeah.
And
If you're watching this and you pull up your phone and go into the GIFs and type in CUCA, you will see a drag icon that is this monster.
Drag icon?
Yeah, she's also a drag icon.
Okay.
Wow. Man.
Yeah, it's
yes,
many.
she is.
Yeah, many faces to this creature, and that's my dog. That's what my dog. That's exactly what my dog is named after.
Wow.
Look like that?
Dude,
Fierce.
that wig is iconic.
Man.
Yeah.
A crocodile wearing a orange wig.
Yeah.
It's basically a crocodile doing drag.
That's
I think that's a more
Dude,
accurate.
Sesame
That's
Street needs to
hilarious.
step it up.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me want to get bangs.
Yeah. So speaking of pets, how's Ferguson doing?
Ferg is doing very well. He's with Mel. We like to so Mel is Marshall's dog, named after Mel Tillis. And
Oh,
Ferg
really?
is-
She did an interview with a guy named, was it Cody, or his last name was Cody? Anyway, it was for the Opry Channel, and they did an interview right at the corner of the bar. But anyway, go ahead.
Ferguson is 100 pounds of pure meat.
And a lot of hair.
Yeah, a lot of hair, but I fostered dogs for 10 years. Shout out to Nashville Humane, like the best funded humane association in the country. And Ferg was the first dog I ever adopted, but Ferg is an Irish Wolfhound mix.
Wow.
And he's very
That's a big
protective
dog.
over me. I would say he's gotten into quite a few accidents outside of the bar.
Rhonda loves him.
Rhonda does love him, even though he hurt Rhonda.
Rhonda.
And I would like to say it was
Help me,
not. It was
Rhonda.
out of love. Rhonda bent down and Ferg jumped up, and they bashed each other, and he
Were they
made
both
Rhonda's-
stunned?
Yeah. Well, Rhonda didn't notice too, and I felt really bad because all of a sudden I look up and Rhonda's nose was bleeding. I was like,
Oh my
Rhonda.
God.
And she was like, it's okay. She was like, I just want to say hi to Ferg. And I was like, Rhonda, we got to get you checked out.
Yeah, that was my first for someone to come up to me and goes, you might want to talk to so-and-so about their dog. I'm like, a dog? I have a bar, so I don't have to deal with dogs.
Yeah, we were outside, and she saw him. She came out to say hi, and he just has a really thick head. He's just, and he doesn't know how big he is, but I love my dog. But yeah, he's a little rough. He bumped into Kelton once too, made Kelton's nose bleed.
Wow.
He's just headbutting people as they come by.
But I watch Mel a lot for Marshall, and we have this running joke that Mel and Ferg are boyfriends because they're like really cute together. And so.
Oh yeah. So like just to clarify, I thought she said Pam Tillis earlier.
That's
why I was like, oh, that Pam Tillis did an interview
Yeah,
over there.
Tillis.
No, who's Mel Tillis? Who is
That's
it?
that's her dad. Her
Yeah.
dad.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. So
so-
Mel's the dad.
Still
That's right.
relevant. Yeah. just-
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
Mel,
generation
the dog, is her
apart.
dad. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
okay. So I was almost there. I was
Yeah.
so close.
You nailed it.
And full circle moment. She is co-owner of Tiger Bar, which is where Andrew
Really?
and I were when we decided to do this podcast.
Wait, Rhonda is?
Oh.
No.
Rhonda.
Pam Tillis.
Yeah, that's where she is. She's
I'm
opening
sorry if I'm at Tiger Bar and Rhonda came out. She's like, "How are you folks doing?" I'm the proprietor here.
Yeah, that'd be great. What if she took on a completely different persona?
I'd like to see Rhonda in like a blazer, smoking a cigarette outside.
Oh man, Rhonda's mastermind. I would love that. So I was like, okay, only when I'm at Villager am I gonna do, oh baby, sweetie, honey, precious. And when I'm at Tiger Bar, it's like, would you like to be seated?
Yeah, it was a bit. So she lives like a double life. She's like an underworld like kingpin, like outside of here.
It turns out she's the author of All Your Pain, Andrew. You just
She's been scheming behind your back this whole time.
Hey
But
man,
if you guys were in the circus, what would your circus act be?
if I was in the circus,
Yeah, like Tiger Bar circus, you know?
oh yeah.
also New Orleans.
Is that what it's
Speakeasy.
named after?
Yeah, it's circus inspired.
Well,
That's my
it's kind of
kind of
freak show inspired, actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So sideshow circus.
I think
Honestly,
I think I would want to be the lion tamer.
I could see that.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I'm with it. Something with the elephant.
Oh,
There you go.
You'll be working with the elephants.
Yeah.
I'd be the
But I would be
ringleader.
a nice elephant guy, you know, not the
Yeah.
one that.
You'd be
poses.
carrying around a footstool everywhere
Yeah,
you
I'd
go.
be like, here's some peanuts.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know,
Yeah.
because they remember you. Like you
They
can't
do,
be
they
mean.
don't-
They will stomp you.
I remember you. I don't like you. What you, Brennan?
I'll be the ringleader with the top hat.
Oh yeah.
He'd be the lion if he's the lion tamer.
we'd be a group act, right? We'd be a
The
duo.
group act. There you go.
What about you, Abs?
All right,
I think
Suze,
it'd be
what
cool
would you
to be?
be?
A trapeze
Very easy to be a
artist.
clown.
You're a
You know,
clown?
doing
Very
flips.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well,
Like,
that's,
I thought, yeah.
it's going to be difficult
yes.
for me to picture.
I'm so uncoordinated.
So,
I'd be like
So your dream is just to be coordinated.
juggle.
so Tomas, tell us about your collegiate experience at Vanderbilt. This is I never asked you about school. I don't think, or it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been 4 years since I left.
And you were because you were in Wisconsin. Did you go to Wisconsin like right after getting out of school?
Yeah.
Which city in Wisconsin?
Madison.
Oh, did you go
Yeah.
for?
Which was
study
really funny
more?
when I was moving there from here. I was like, I'm going to Madison, and people are like, "You're not moving."
You're just delayed.
Yeah, you're just like really going right there, and I was like, "Oh, sorry, Wisconsin." And then they're like, "Oh, you're moving."
Tomas, who hates the cold and thinks Nashville is cold, moved to Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that is cold.
Awful choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a pretty
Awful.
town though.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful, but yeah, I had a bad time there.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What happened?
Yeah, do tell.
I moved there because of a girlfriend, and
Whoops.
we broke up, and then I
Oh.
got a DUI there too,
Oh,
and
God.
got stuck for an extra year that
That's
I didn't want to be
wow.
there.
What a like he was like what a jail story.
Wait, but tell them why it was kind of your saving grace to get the DUI in Wisconsin.
Oh please, yeah, I gotta hear why that's a
Oh,
good thing.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so, y'all know this, but the audience doesn't. I was born in Brazil,
Yes.
right? Moved here
Polyglot.
almost 12 years ago.
Okay.
On my 9th year here, right before my green card is about to expire, and I have to choose between becoming a citizen or just like renewing my green card, I get my DUI.
So then you have to.
Yeah. So no. If you get a DUI, it is either a misdemeanor or like a minor felony, which means you can't become a citizen for an extra 5 years in every state but Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, your first DUI is a traffic violation,
Shout out Wisconsin.
which meant I could still become a citizen even with my DUI,
Wow.
and I did.
Is that the only state?
Wow.
It's the only state
That
in.
is crazy.
is the only state that is like that. Your first,
has to be
I think your
because of
second is
Milwaukee.
also a traffic violation,
So if it was considered, what's the next step after traffic violation?
a misdemeanor.
A misdemeanor. Yeah. So if you would have got a misdemeanor, you would have been screwed.
Yeah, I would have had to renew my green card instead of becoming a citizen.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay,
Yeah.
so now you're.
I'm
yeah,
a
you're
full citizen. I'm
naturalized
red,
now.
white, and blue, baby.
Yeah, bring it,
Wow,
brother.
cheers to
All
that.
right, cheers.
Cheers.
That.
Yeah.
And if you can't already tell, we are brought to you by Shinerbach. We love Shinerbach. Actually, Abby over here is drinking Shiner Cheer, the last bit of this Christmas seasonal that we have.
How do you like it? I have not had it yet.
Would you like a sip?
No, but thank you.
I like it. I
Yeah.
think it's got like a nice little sweet. It's good for breakfast on a Sunday, you know.
breakfast beer. Yeah.
It's perfect. We actually my birthday. How many years ago? Do you remember this?
Which one?
The hiking one. Hiking gone wrong.
That was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. We came here. First of all, for my birthday, I decided to go on a hike in Alabama. Why? I don't know. Tomas came. Bless him. And he was maybe the only person more miserable than I was on the birthday hike that I planned in Alabama. And then we came here afterward, and it was really funny because Tomas was leaving the bar, and I was walking over to the bar. And I was like, I'm going to get my dog bowl. And Tomas was like, we'll see you there. And I walk in, and the air conditioning was broken. It was really hot in here.
It was during COVID
Yeah.
when the AC broke here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
Speaking of, I want to shut that door. The AC, yeah, I remember the AC's probably broken. Hold on, I'll do that real quick. But yeah, the AC breaks here probably at least once a year. It's really it's a very small unit, so it's like it's in yeah. So
that's why it's always hot in here.
yes, it's and
And
well
the people.
that it's a very small unit, and once you get where how you want the place to be, which is full of people.
Yeah.
It gets pretty warm. I actually had them come in and just fix the AC. Speaking of which, I just literally had them fix the fan on it like yesterday. They
Thank
just
you for
came.
that.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
timing.
Yeah, because it does. It gets pretty. And then I walked in last night, and the AC had just gotten fixed. I had put it on heat on Wednesday night because it needed it. It was just kind of chilly, and the heat stayed on all the way until last night. And I walked in, and I just got the AC fixed, so I was like wondering if it was working. And I walk in, I'm like, hey Scott, you notice it was fireball hot in here, and I was just like, oh, okay, trying to turn this new AC on. It's ready to go, and sure, and it looks like it's working so far.
Yeah.
They,
I can feel the difference.
Good.
Yeah.
I like it because there's fans too. I mean,
Yeah.
traditional.
oh yeah, that's just a prop. That's not doing anything.
We still got the vent from the olden days of
Oh
smoking.
yeah, so the ceiling vent, yes, that it
Oh,
was.
yeah.
I have to. Using that was also kind of like a prop. It never really worked that well. That's what I was when we went non-smoking. That's what I was like. I would try to explain to people that the way the Villager is, with the carpet and the pictures and all the memorabilia on the walls, it's impossible to get the smoke out of the place.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can lift that fan up, but it just stays there. It does. So if you
That
so if
was
you go.
what originally attracted me to here.
Oh no, of course. Me and
Yeah.
you have shared many packs of cigarettes while I'm not closing the bar.
Yeah,
You know,
not at all.
and you didn't want to go home yet.
Yeah.
So we just sat there and chain smoked, and I asked you probably about what you did at Bandy and
Yeah.
being a Brazilian and what that was like.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. So, you guys have known each other for a long time. What was it like? Like, what was it like reconnecting when you came back from Wisconsin? Yeah, because y'all moved in together, right? Was that the first time y'all moved in together?
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't had a roommate in years.
And yeah.
You had worse roommates right before me.
I had the worst roommates ever.
Oh, please, come on.
I lived with these two men, one of whom I didn't know, one of whom I had known for 5 years. And I had to move. Unfortunately, I was in a pretty abusive relationship and I was being stalked. So it just worked out. Somebody moved out. I moved into this house. And this person eventually found where I was living and let himself into the house and slept in my bed when I wasn't home. And it was
Weird.
pretty terrifying. But I told the two men that I lived with. And their response was, it makes us feel uncomfortable that you're being
And then they
stalked.
moved out, right?
And they left. Well, first of all, they left me alone for a month, and I told the cops. And my favorite was, yeah, right, like insane. I have brothers. I have 3 brothers. I've lived with men my whole life. Before moving here, I did my master's at Maryland, and I lived in a house of firemen. I also had a stalker. Shout out Kirk. But anyway, Kirk. Kirk used to do a lot of meth, and my roommates, all of my old roommates, this was like way back, they were all firemen. We always had fires, and they'd be like, "Kirk's out in the yard. We'll take care of it." I was like, "Thanks," I'm like harmless, but unhealthy. Like mental health is important. So this house, like whenever this person found the house, the 2 guys were like, "It makes us feel so uncomfortable. We're gonna leave you alone." So they left me alone.
Very
I called the
masculine
cops.
of them.
Pardon me?
Very
yeah,
masculine
very.
of them,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
there's no guy code.
Our friend is in trouble. Let's vanish.
Let's leave her. Yeah. And I called the cops, and every time I called the cops, it baffles me to this day. But the cops were like, "Well, darling, have you ever considered getting a gun?" And I was like, I don't know how to use a gun. No cop. I think about this a lot because no cop was ever like, "Well, if you want to get a gun, here's how you can take lessons. Here's how you can learn how to shoot a gun. Here's how you can properly store for one." They were just like, "Get a gun," not like, "Here's how we can help you."
As a prop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No bullets, just gun.
just gun.
Yeah.
But
Your stun gun.
it was horrible. But I was not in a good place, and Tomas had also was maybe not in the best place. But we were like, "Come back. Like we miss you. Come here. Like your friends are here," and you were able to move in March.
Yeah, I moved, so full circle also.
Yeah.
The day that my DUI ended, that I took off, I had a breathalyzer in my car. Took off that shit. Very next day, I'm here already.
That's dedication.
Wow.
Yeah. Here, figuratively and literally, I was at the Villager the next day.
Wow. So what is it about Nashville and the Villager that feels more like home than Madison, Wisconsin?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
I think it's the people, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, that's what makes a place, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
because like I considered moving to Chicago after that,
Sure.
and I was like, and big city would be cool.
Right.
I was like, I know so many people, I know so many places, like I can definitely like figure my way out in Nashville.
Yeah.
And, like I had come a week before for a job interview, and shout out to Andrew, like freaking did a whole announcement, Return of the Prodigal Son,
Yeah.
and like people
That's
cheered.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
He's so
yeah.
good about special treatment.
I like recognizing people.
Yeah, and it
Especially
was
people
like,
that like to come and give me money.
Yeah.
Not to be to be totally shameless about it. It's part of the gig.
Yeah, you get the regulars, right? Like it's like I mean, there is a money relationship, but we like each other beyond that too.
I think the home aspect, the way the bar is supposed to operate, it's supposed to feel like your living room.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm hosting a house party in your living room. So it's supposed, people know your name. I acknowledge that you come in. I had Hollis, who owns the 8th room. He came in with his wife one night, and I was like, "It's King Hollis and it's King Queen Hollis or something." And he came in, and my brother was working the next time he came in, and Toby didn't do that, so he was like. He might have thought Toby was me too. I don't really know. And so like the next time I saw him, I was like, "Yeah, man, like I came in with your brother's working, but I didn't get all the fanfare." And I'm like, "Well,
That's an Andrew thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew's one of a kind.
Yeah.
But
But if you need another Andrew, there's Toby.
there is 2 of me. I'm technically nominal.
There is a stand-in there.
Well,
I've
you're
done
right.
it.
They are very unique, very different.
I've done it. I've pissed Andrew off. I've very confident been like, "Hey, Toby," and he just looks at me. And I'm
Yeah. Well, because I've learned running a bar. I've learned that I have to learn when you run a bar, you have to develop being pissed off. Like because you need people to take you seriously. Yeah.
You're really good at that.
Yeah. I have a dent right in the middle of my forehead from furrowing my brow.
I have 2 villager family stories.
Oh, let's hear it.
I think one of my favorite moments was Michaela, who's a mutual friend of ours.
Who
Shout out
Michaela was
Michaela.
going to be here, but she wasn't feeling well.
Yeah, she's sick. But Michaela grew up in Boston, and for her grandma's 85th birthday, she wanted to go see a Grateful Dead drag show at Dee's. And then we came here, and you guys gave her a dog bowl of ranch water.
Nice.
Mary. And Michaela's dad is Mike, and Mike and Mary have really thick Boston accents. And I kept saying, I was like, it's the Cheers bar. You guys will love it. And we come in, and Mike is looking at Mary, his mom. He goes, Ma, we're at the dart bar. You want to play darts at the bar? You want to play darts at the dart bar? And I was like, I'm sorry, Mike, where are we? And he was like, the dart bar. And Mary's sipping her.
That's
like,
spelled D-A-B-A. The Daba.
The
dart bar.
It's a real Wikipissa.
So I think about that a lot. And then the other, like, very family experiences. My aunt and uncle came to visit a couple years ago, and my extended family's all from Buffalo, and my aunt and uncle used to work in federal prisons. But my uncle, shout out Uncle Dave, has since retired, and he's a big chef.
Hey, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah. And we came here to watch the Bills game. Bills playing.
But you were saying the Bills are playing today?
They are.
Yeah.
They're playing the Chiefs. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. Go Bills, baby. But we came here, and Uncle Dave, like, incredible chef. He went to culinary school and everything. He was like, best gumbo I've ever had. We came back the next day because he was like, I need that gumbo.
Yeah.
He's like, that gumbo's so good.
Oh, I see the fire in their eyes. I see it.
Ugh,
It's like
so good.
it's like you're on the culinary battlefield. They're like, I need a gumbo. Like someone I don't even think they don't even look hungry. They're not acting hungry. They're like, hey, can I get a gumbo? Like they're just trying to they just feel like they're programmed to want to eat it when they walk in now. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's really
And
amazing.
sometimes
It
you
is the
gift
best.
a gumbo. Like you gifted me a gumbo on my birthday, and I'm like, I didn't ask for this. And you're like, you look like you needed it.
You need
And
it.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
like, I did.
it was your birthday. Like I've definitely
Your dog bowl
or-
has been refilled 3 times right now.
Yeah,
You
if-
need
if-
a little bit
if
inside
someone's,
there. that
if
is
someone's
not
been
liquid.
drinking a lot, I definitely will throw like 4 or 5 bags of chips in front of them just to not make them a liability at that point. It's like here, I've handed a loaf of bread to someone before.
Oh,
Like
wow.
here, put this in your gut.
Someone.
Some
It wasn't
people-
me at all.
Yeah, people have definitely received some bread from me. I've heard it's a Midwest thing. This guy came in and he just goes, "Can I just get some bread, some pieces of bread, like because we have the bread that we cut up in toast." And he was like, "Can I just get an order of bread?" And Lucian was next to me. He goes, "Oh, he's from the Midwest." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Oh yeah, people in the Midwest. That's a thing when they go out drinking, they just order bread."
I'm into that. I love
Yeah, which makes sense because it helps them not get it soaks up the beer in their stomach.
Yeah.
And I didn't make that connection at first when he asked for it. I just thought he was kind of strange.
They are professional drinkers out there.
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
that's what I say to people. It's like I moved to the Midwest. I moved to Wisconsin. I did the Wisconsin thing, which is get a DUI, and then I moved out.
Yeah, which the Midwest made you a bartender.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, push
so-
me back into it.
So you're
There he is.
yeah,
That's
it's
Toby.
Toby.
You look so happy to see us.
He's so cheerful.
So tell us about working at the Iberian Pig. That's where you're at now, right?
That's where I'm at
Tomas
now.
is a bartender at the Iberian Pig. Yeah.
Hey, oh.
He
It's
served me a great drink the other night.
yeah, it's a cool. It's a nice spot. It's like honestly, like not to promote it too much, but it's like it's the
I already
highest.
put the food on.
Yeah, it's the highest rated restaurant in Nashville right now.
Best restaurant
is.
in Nashville?
Yeah,
It's
highest rated on Google.
Oh, nice.
Iberian
Yeah.
Pig.
Yeah, 4.9 with like 2,000 reviews.
Wow.
Wow.
That's not
Yeah.
easy to acquire.
Yeah,
I have to
so-
worry about that. I think like
So it's cool. It's a
Yeah.
tapas spot. Happy hour every day, which is insane. Honestly,
What's
Yeah.
the happy hour deal? Tell me.
it's $5 for wine and sangria,
That was
and
good. I
then-
had the sangria the other day.
and then it's a 24. Like it's usually 34, but on the happy hour is 24. Charcuterie board.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, a happy hour charcuterie board. Brennan, we have to go.
yeah, we do have to. go.
Hey, stat charcuterie boards that are like on
I'm
on
coming.
sale.
We'll all go together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds good.
And it's
Yeah,
good. It's like
we'll bring shoes.
it's Iberian Pig stuff.
Yeah.
Like the whole charcuterie is Iberian Pig. It's a vibe, dude. It's a
You
cool
wanna
spot.
go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been. Actually, I met a bartender from that worked at Iberian Pig. I don't know if he was the bar manager or the one of the bartenders, but he was living in the ghost condo. You know which one I'm talking about? The ghost train condo.
Oh yes.
What's
Yeah.
that?
So I looked at a Airbnb zone space that would there were condos and there were like 12 of them, or I can't remember how many, but about 12, and they're right along a train track in the middle of Sylvan Park.
Yeah.
The train literally comes onto the street right there with its horn blaring like you're in a ghost story.
Yeah.
And he had lived there for a while. The bartender did. And I ran into him. I asked. He basically gave me all the deets on the property and how long he's been there, and then he kind of passed it off nicely. Like I was kind of like, well, you know, I could turn it into an Airbnb. I might think about this property, and then me and I think it was Margaret at the time. Me and this girl named Margaret, we went and checked it out at night because I wanted to know what the train sounded like. I wanted to see how aggressive this was going to be.
Yeah.
And so, because I was going to have to live there for like a couple of years, and then it'd have to be a decent rental. And so this girl was coming out of the place about around 10 p.m. I can't remember why she said she was leaving to go to. She was either a student or she worked at Vanderbilt. I think she worked at Vanderbilt. And I was like, yeah, so. Yeah, me and my friend here, we're checking out the place. We want to see how bad the train is. We heard there's a train that comes in at night. And she just goes, oh, my gosh. It's horrible. It comes at night and you're asleep and you go, ah, hoo, hoo, and the light comes on and you wait. It's like it takes you about a year to get used to it.
Oh.
And that's what she said. I mean, I might be exaggerating, but she told me it took time. It took an excessive amount of time to get used to how aggressive the train would come into the neighborhood.
And where we were living, that was Sylvan Park too, and we lived maybe 2 blocks from the
From the
railroad
train?
track, and you could hear it pretty
Pretty
well.
Oh yeah, this thing you would be in your room at night. I mean, dude, you could like during the day you could see the train track was in the backyard.
Yeah.
And we and Brennan went there during the day to see how loud it would be, and it just rolled by, and you could kind of hear it. But at night, apparently, as a safety precaution, the light comes out and the whistle comes out, and like and it's
I didn't even
and they
think
do
of
it like
that.
right around 11 or 12 when everyone's trying to go to sleep.
And I bet they didn't put like the noise canceling windows either.
Oh, no.
Glass.
That
It's the
would
ones
be
that shake and make it louder, right?
that was a cost that I initially put in there regardless if I decided to buy it. It was like I had to put soundproofing windows in.
Because the deal was, it was still the proximity to here was actually really good, and for the price, it was spacious. Which,
Oh, it was a very nice space. You could host a party in it easily.
so we all live in this area, and space is a premium, like it always has been. Even with Nashville real estate not being what it actually is today, space was always a premium in the village. You always were sacrificing space and amenities in order for proximity, nearness to the villager and Andrew. And so I was like, hey, I know a place that kind of bucks the system, but there's one big caveat, and that is
You told me you almost was it that place that you thought about
yeah,
buying?
I thought about buying it numerous times, and I'm like, I just don't know if I could deal with the train. And so we wound up hanging out. We should get your real estate agent on here.
Oh,
as a
Dave
guest.
Landgood is like the best real estate agent in the neighborhood.
So he was in there telling us stories about meeting all these old classic country singers because he's a songwriter. And then, but it was good because we were biding our time, waiting for this train to finally come so we can hear it. And we had locked up and we're about to leave. And then I'm like, there's a train. And he's like scrambling for the keys and there's like a ton of them, and he keeps trying, and then finally we get in and we listen, like, okay, shh. And it's like, and I remember Andrew's like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's just passable. I could do this.
Yeah, because it was. I wanted to live there. I really did. I wanted.
You just lie to yourself.
Yeah, because the space, it was so nice.
And then, and then the girl's testimonial that I got at night from her was all I needed.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
It's
oh
horrible.
yeah, no, it's.
He
it's
knows when you're sleeping.
The look she gave me when I asked her was like, oh yeah, you're like the 10th person this week. You know what I mean? Because it was on sale, and people wanted to know that people were probably showing up and asking. And it was one of the hardest. I didn't make a decision. It was one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make in my life, and I didn't. So I hadn't made one. Yeah. And then I found out I was chilling here, and a real estate friend of mine was like, I was telling him about it because I asked everyone, like, do you think I should? What do you think? And he was like, oh no, that one's done. It's already cooked, man. You're not gonna get it. And I was like, wait, what? Like he lived in another state, and he knew that property was technically off the market. And so I didn't. I was pushed out. Someone else developed
somebody
it.
snagged it off of you.
Yeah, because it was zoned commercial, and they were these cheaply appraised condos. So someone could come in and turn them into Airbnb, the whole lot into Airbnbs. And so I liked it because I had a shot at getting a commercial Airbnb on the cheap. Those are normally double the price of what they wanted for it. So. But yeah,
those dumb tourists don't know about trains. I'll tell you that much.
So I talked to my real estate agent and I said, yeah, I heard there's some deal that I think it's already done. And he was like, what? And so he went and talked to people in his channels because he didn't want to waste any more of our time looking at it. And so sure enough, we missed the boat. Yeah.
Well, do you like your new spot?
Oh
Because
yeah, I
we've
love
had
living
so
on
many people
Fairfax.
live there.
Yes.
I mean, they've been in my pool. You know, you guys have been in my pool. We had I think, and I got the condo I bought it the day before my birthday, so we got to throw a pool party at it.
That was
that was amazing.
That was fun.
That was really cool.
I love that pool.
The cigarette candy that Abby made.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh man, I love that. That was brilliant.
What was that? Was that Oreo dust?
It was pretzel sticks that I dipped in white chocolate, and then I crushed up Oreos to look like ash with a little bit of sugar, and I dipped it with a tiny bit of pink icing, so it looked like a...
Yeah, they were really, yeah.
Cigarettes.
The Oreo dust lived in a container in my fridge for quite a while.
Really?
Yeah.
I put that on ice.
Every time I looked at it, I was like, can I really just eat this just like
Yeah.
this? Yeah, the only detractor is it is missing tiles all over it. And at the neighborhood association meeting or the condo association meeting, they were like, what's the first order of business? Which I showed up late because I didn't get the email of what time it was, and so I showed up around what time I thought an appropriate Sunday meeting would happen, which was way later than they wanted. But
9 a.m. Villager?
hey, I felt like I communicated pretty well, but they were like, they were like, what should we talk about? I was like, well, the pool needs the pool doesn't have tiles on. It's pretty jarring. It's one of the only pools I've ever seen that is in that state. But still, the complex is so cozy and lovable that I don't think people really think that hard about it. And it's next to Vanderbilt and the hospital. It's a great location.
Will you tell them my favorite story before you moved to Wisconsin when you thought your car was stolen?
That story begins here, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I parked, I came to the Villager as I did every single day.
Hey, you live my life, except you get to not at work.
6 years ago?
This is, about,
5?
this is 2018 around, 2019
So
maybe?
people have a I went to the Villager every day, period. Right? This is
Or
people,
it never ends.
Oh,
or it never ends.
Yeah, honestly,
It's a lifestyle.
I'm pretty sure I did it for 2 years straight.
Yeah, it's an era. There's a Villager era for people. That's
It
amazing.
was either when I lived really close or when I had a car. If I still had a car, I would come here a lot more often at this moment. It's just right now biking just seems, especially in the cold.
Oh my God,
Anyways,
the bike too. We should talk about
So what gave you? So what was the what made you want to move downtown?
I needed to find an apartment quick, and they had a very cheap one that is all included and not spacious at all.
Oh, so you're
I
living
will tell
New York
you, my
style.
apartment is smaller than what we have here. From this wall to, I am sorry, I don't know your name. Suzanne. That's probably the size of my apartment.
Wow. So 400 square feet?
So
Not even?
Not even.
oh my
200.
gosh.
Wow.
So there's okay. So
150. 100.
It's 100
A little bit more. It's 128 square feet.
Oh my
That's the size of my apartment.
Oh my gosh.
we have graduated as a city.
Wow.
What's
Yeah.
the building?
It's called Rutledge Flats.
Uh-huh.
I have. It's communal kitchens.
Okay, it's set up like an Airbnb almost. I've seen Airbnbs like that for people that are having
it's
bridal
New York
parties.
style. It's called a micro suite
Yes.
to make it sound nice.
Yeah,
So
right?
is it it's about the size of a typical hotel room?
No, way smaller.
Way smaller. Oh my
Small.
gosh.
No, I wish a Murphy bed would go so far.
It doesn't have a Murphy bed.
Can't you get one? Can you?
No, because it comes furnished.
Oh.
That was a whole other problem because I had a bed.
Furnished.
Wow.
Yeah, so it
you had
comes
to get
furnished,
rid
but
of
I had a whole bed of my own that now lives under the bed that I have.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Sleepover.
No, I like undid the frame, and then I have the mattress. I have it at the bottom of the bed, and then I have my own mattress.
Wow.
And then now I live. It's literally the same to bike and to drive to work, for me in the Gulch. So that's nice, and it's like a 20-minute walk. I get my steps in. You know.
Nice.
Yeah. So like go to
So
work.
it's like, so it's just nonstop kind of track. You're like, you get up, you go to the job.
Yeah.
Where do you hang out? What happens after the job?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Tell us
Job,
stories.
there's a
Broadway.
couple. There's Hops and Crafts.
Oh, that's an
Shout out
industry
Will.
bar. Like Will
That's
works
yeah,
there,
that's a very industry bar. It's like everybody, all the people that work in the restaurants in the Gulch.
I know. I brought a girlfriend in for a party. And I'm not going to mention her name because that'd be rude. Because I'm going to say something rude. But like, but she was like, my mom goes, I don't like that one. I'm like, well, why? And she goes, well, she didn't. Her and her friend didn't clean up any. They were on the Pac-Man table, like, eating and drinking. They didn't clean up anything after themselves. They had like a board game and some food and stuff. And she's like, yeah, they just left everything on the table. I was like, duly noted.
Board games, that's rude. I think like, okay, I get it if you leave your glass.
Well,
but if
I
you're
think it wasn't a
taking
board game. We
out,
had
put it back.
stuff that we did, like we do bar games where it's like crossword puzzles and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
they just like there was like pencils and paper, like. Anyway, and
I'm being judgy too,
I told I was joking with the girl at the time about how my mother had said something negative about her in a joking way, and she flipped. And I was like, and she's like, what'd she say? I'm like, I'm not telling you now because you flipped out. Like, I'm good. I'm
You
real
already
good.
overreacted.
Yeah, you already went insane. I'm good.
Wait, you have to tell them the story about the car, the cookout.
Oh.
And then
yeah,
I have to tell you
we
guys the
didn't get
story
that.
about your dad, Andrew, because.
About my dad?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. You go first.
I know the story. Oh yeah.
That's
So back to the starts at the Villager, like I
All
did every
stories.
day.
Yeah.
Every day I used to come to the Villager.
Thank you, sir.
But I park my car at what's the name of this place?
The Belcourt?
Bank of America.
Oh.
Dude, shout out to Bank of America for being the best place to park my car. All right.
I mean, they're not
He
gonna.
knows. Jack knows.
At
Everybody
night,
knows.
at night they're not gonna tell me.
Toby actually told me that, like, cause dude, that's been the game plan since like the dawn of time. Like, Bank of America does not care. Okay.
And you're allowed to. After hours.
We are?
You are allowed
No
to.
kidding.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
totally cool.
Totally
What?
cool.
Oh, it's not as.
After 5
Just not during business hours.
Yeah, yeah.
That is such a clutch, respectful move for the neighborhood.
Right.
Very thoughtful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, they got free press.
So yeah.
Bank of America.
They really needed
Hey
it.
guys,
For all your
Well, yeah.
investment
we
needs. My
did
brother works
we
for
did
them.
switch from Bank of America. We
nice.
did switch the Bank of America to regions to do our bank runs because although their parking lot is ample, it takes a long time to get change at Bank of America.
Do you want me to
I
mute
believe
that
it.
and not like put that in the cut? Or
Hmm?
do you want me to not put that in the cut?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it later.
They're gonna ban us. No
Talk about
banking.
in post. Yeah, I'm sure if someone one of the people that runs their very lazy region over here, just that I've decided to opt out of using, is gonna watch it and go like, oh no, that ne'er do well.
Yeah, so I park at Bank of America, come here, it might have been a league day, to be honest.
It might have been.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
They all run together.
I was here, as per usual. Then this is when Belcourt Tap still existed.
Oh, missed that
So,
place.
Yeah,
It's great.
Yeah.
it was great.
But
yeah.
the Dumpling House is great. Shout out Dumpling House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They should
I
have
do
a
like
bar.
The Dumpling House myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every restaurant on the street should have a bar that stays open later.
Yeah.
And that's all that I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm here until late hours. Go to Belcourt Tap to get like probably a shot or something. And then I wake up at home right after. There's some lost time in the middle there.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, I was responsible. I'm going back to Bank of America. And I'm gonna go get my car. I get there, no car.
You're kidding.
No car. And I'm like, fuck.
So you didn't park at Bank of America?
No, I did.
No,
I
he
definitely
calls me,
did.
He's like, my car was stolen.
My
I
car
can't
was
find
stolen.
My car.
Can't
What
find
do
my
I
car.
do?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm like texting everybody. It's like, my car was stolen. I lost my car. Bank of America. blah blah blah. Like fuck it. Like I bought that car for like $5K.
So maybe
I've
for
had
a-
it for many years. It's fine.
Yeah,
You
so
know what I
maybe
mean?
for a thief that sign like the parking after hours maybe says to them, there's no like you're not obligated to surveil the parking lot footage or something like.
Yeah. No, but I called the tow company
Yeah.
that they have listed there.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, we don't have your car.
Wow.
What kind of car? What kind of
Yeah.
car?
It was a Corolla 07, and at that point it had 250,000 miles on it.
Nice. You
So,
squeezed.
so
the
I
drops out of
was
that
I
one.
was pretty okay with that car not existing anymore. You know what
It
I mean?
sucks, though.
It did suck, and I was like, all right, like
So-
I don't have a car. But at least I still like lived in a neighborhood. I was going to Vandy, you know, whatever. Go about my day. All of a sudden, my roommate Brad. I don't know if you remember Brad, tall, lanky dude.
Oh my
Volcano
gosh!
guy.
It's like I'll say
Volcano guy.
what my dad classically says to me. If I saw him, I remember him. Because I bring up people's
Honestly-
names, and he's like, "Well, you know."
I know that you don't mean it, but I know that you would actually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure if I would recognize this person. If I saw
Totally.
him.
You 100% would.
It's just gotten to the point where 13 years has gone by.
So Brad didn't have a car at the time. He biked everywhere.
He stole yours. Are you sure?
No, all of a sudden he calls me. He's like, "Your car's at Cookout."
So you think someone joyrode it?
No.
No.
Oh, you mean your
all,
car?
All of a sudden, it flashes back to me. I'm like, yes, I did drive my car to Cookout.
Okay, that.
Went in, got food, and then I lived 2 blocks from Cookout at the time, so I walked home from Cookout and forgot about the whole experience completely.
Completely forgot that cookout was even a thing.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was about to ask you but the look on your face when you said my car got stolen, I was like, this story is going to lead to his car getting stolen. But then it got to the end, I was like, no, this is bar talk right here. This is like, it's like, yeah, I remember how you forgot your car at my house for 5 days or something like that. You know, it's one of those stories.
You know
Yeah.
what though? I will say I've had 2 friends in the past year that have had their car stolen here in Nashville, and your story is a uniquely West Nashville story, and theirs is uniquely East and South Nashville because they had both had Kia or Hyundai, and both of them got jacked, and it was like one was 2 girls. It was like 2 girls just took the car, joyrode it, burned it to the ground. Yeah, and they like cops found it. Or like, yeah, it's pretty much toast. And then the other one was kind of like you, like because you don't have a car anymore, right? But she did the same thing. Like they took her Kia or whatever it was. She's like, I don't need a car. I'll just walk to work, even in the cold. Which at first in the summer seems like I can do this, but then Nashville gets cold sometimes, you know. And then suddenly you're like, ooh, maybe all that expense is worth it. You know, it's not like you could take a bus. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Here you
Dude.
can.
But dude, Nashville Ubers, like if you live downtown, they're so cheap that it's like
Yeah.
less than like insurance and your car payment.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So you Ubered here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ubering in Nashville has started to become affordable.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's cheaper in Nashville because of all the tourism.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
it's very
pay I some like not every day, but most, especially now in the cold, most days I do Uber to work, and it's $5 there, like $4 there.
Wait, you're Ubering to work? How many blocks is that?
It's a few. It's 20
It's
minutes.
cold.
It's a 20 minutes walk.
It's 20
uphill.
minutes? Oh,
He's
okay.
Brazilian,
So it's
he's
farther than
chilling.
I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a little cold right now. and I mean, in the height of the summer, I probably will Uber too, but.
And you're from Brazil. You're like screw this.
I enjoy sweating, but I do enjoy, serving people after being sweaty.
Yeah.
That will.
So,
get-
appreciate
so what do you guys miss about living together? Because y'all are like what is? We're
Well-
living alone again now, so you don't have a roommate.
Our telltale sign of us being really intoxicated was going to Cookout. Like the other day, we peer pressured coffee into taking us.
That is true.
We were like,
Yeah.
take us to Cookout. We got to go.
It's time.
that
It's time for
Cookout is-
milkshake.
Cookout has become quite a ritual. Like the guys that do my jazz jam, every time they're done, they're like, they pack their stuff up and they look at each other and they go, Cookout? And they're like, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
Well,
one
I
got a
know
girlfriend,
order.
so now that Cookout doesn't happen as often.
Do you guys have a Cookout order?
A Cookout order? I'm not a Cookout guy.
I've had
Yet.
Cookout once.
I've never been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every day.
I got it
We're on the
Lisa.
outside looking in.
What's your go-to?
So my friend and I we get something called the quadilla.
The quadilla.
That's Tomas. Is it a
Yeah.
quesadilla?
It's a cookout tray, 2 chicken quesadillas, And then for your 2 sides, it's 2 more chicken quesadillas.
That's him.
And then you get
that's,
like a hush puppy.
that's
or
not
something.
me, but I'm with it.
And then that's it. And we call it the quadilla because it's awesome.
So what is it about cookout? What is it that makes everybody go? Is it the prices?
Yes.
Yes.
It's like $2.
It's
for, like,
open late.
Yeah. It
I
They are
went for
open
the
late, the strips.
milkshakes.
Yeah. And they make decent food.
it's open late. It's very quick,
Yes.
Yeah.
and it's $7 for a ton of food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the
like a
quickest fast food
ton.
line I've ever seen.
And it's an extensive menu. Like you're not limited.
It's the biggest fast food
Overwhelming.
menu I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the opposite of the stratagem for fast food. Like like the people who gave us the concept of fast food, the whole idea is that it's a limited menu because people don't want to think, and you specialize in order to make a name for yourself. But you go to Cookout and you can put A1 steak sauce on anything they serve practically, and it's like, I can't believe they have A1 like at the ready for ice cream, but they got it, Yeah. And
Cookout
it's like,
sauce.
it's sort of like Buc-ee's, but condensed to a fast food experience.
Don't even get me started on Buc-ee's.
Yeah, I just
we might not leave.
Oh, well, we'll have to go. Murfreesboro's getting
Yeah,
one.
I've
so
only.
that's-
I've
Wait,
only-
Murfreesboro's getting a Buc-ee's.
Yes,
Yes.
they are. Yeah,
That's
in
like a-
local news.
It's
Yeah,
been
yeah,
at the
local
top.
local
It's
news
been
here.
on the agenda for a while.
Is this one going to have a roller coaster? That
Yeah.
is a Buc-ee's. It's like someone telling you that. I mean, I can't remember any business coming anywhere that had the hype that a Buc-ee's has.
I went the
yeah.
first time
Well,
I ever went was in
In-N-Out.
Texas.
In-N-Out's got
That-
And
Yeah.
Whataburger.
That's probably where you're supposed to go.
That is
Yeah,
exactly.
it's like the wall. I mean, it is.
Someone bought
the
me a
Walmart
Buc-ee's
of-
statue to put in the bar. I have a Buc-ee's like.
You do?
Yeah, I have a Buc-ee's.
Or how the connoisseurs call it, the boosies.
So will you not go to a Buc-ee's?
No, I've never been.
But will you
No
go?
gas
Oh,
station
you
should
gotta
have that
go.
many gas pumps.
What if we road
If I'm
trip
divorced.
to Buc-ee's?
Oh God.
Dreams.
Villager people road
Sign me
trip
up.
to
We can get
Buc-ee's.
Sue's freaking out on camera.
We'll be.
Yeah.
We'll take Andrew's car. Tomas doesn't have.
I can drive though. I still have a license.
All right, well, guys, I think we're gonna have to go to Cookout very shortly. So.
Wait, can I tell you about the Dead Dad Club?
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah. No,
Yes.
hold on. This is, we
This
haven't
is a
gotten.
great story.
Let's get back to this. This is how all this whole conversation started.
Oh my God.
I think about this a lot. So, Stephen Wall.
Oh yeah, who I played soccer with when
Yes,
growing
grew
up.
up
Yeah.
with Stephen. Stephen used to talk about knowing you guys, you and Toby, because you guys played soccer together. And he'd always talk about how your dad coached soccer, but he would like talk about your dad as if he had passed away, like your dad had died. And I was like, interesting.
Because
Okay.
I've never told anyone my dad was dead.
Well, the way he
Never.
talked about this, so in my mind, ever since then, I was like, wow, their dad died. Like, that's so sad.
All these people
And
think my
then
dad's dead.
One day I was sitting at the bar, and I was sitting with a friend whose dad had passed away, and Toby was bartending, and somebody was like, yeah, my dad's dead. And I was like, Dead Dad Club, like Toby. And Toby was
And Toby's just like.
Toby goes, my dad, but this is even worse because Toby goes, my dad's alive. I was like,
Rub it in. Just rub
pretty
it in.
sure he's dead. And Toby was like, I saw him. I talked to my dad this morning. I was like, pretty sure your dad's dead. And Toby was like, what are you
thought
talking
Toby
about?
had some kind of like alter ego where he acts like his dad's not dead.
And
I still hear his voice.
And so I had told all these people because of the way Steven talked about it. And so a couple years ago, shout out to Stephen Wall. Steven he was defending his dissertation. His sister, Lindsay, bartends at HQ's and had been here. They all played league and everything. So Steven did his defense, and I saw Steven's mom and Steven's sister, and I was like, hey, you guys know Toby and Andrew? And they were like, yeah, their dad died. And I was like, what if I told
knew
you?
these people growing
I was
up.
like, no, what if I told you their dad's still alive? And they were like, what do you mean? No, he's dead. And I was like, no, he is not dead. And then Stephen was like, I'm pretty sure their dad's dead. And I was like, under no circumstances their father dead. And Stephen's reasoning is, he's like, I think one day like something happened and they were like, oh, like he's dead to me or something like that, like a total joke. But like the way this went about, so like for years I was like, yeah, the bar was like their dad's bar, but he died, all this stuff. And everybody is like, what are you talking about? And so I've never met your dad. So to me, it's like I'm like, this man does not exist. If I have to educate Toby and Andrew,
my parents
they're
had
making it up.
my parents had a pretty interestingly bad divorce. My dad ended up moving to. I went to UT Knoxville out in East Tennessee, and my dad ended up taking a job through a friend that longtime friend, got him a job running a hotel in East Tennessee in Sevierville.
Go Vols.
And
Go Vols!
yeah, straight, go Big Orange!
Go Vols!
So I spent 8 years out there, and my dad was out there the whole time, living about 25 minutes away from where I lived. And then eventually, his East Tennessee run ended when he took a job at a resort that was in another country. And so,
What country?
Colombia.
gosh, what country?
Tennessee.
The Cayman Islands. What is the Cayman Islands technically?
They're
You would know.
British Virgin Islands.
Okay, so they're
Yes.
so they're not. So
But I
yeah,
think
so,
they're independent from that stuff.
yeah. So he went to the
Because,
Cayman
you know,
Islands to run a resort.
tax
He
evasion.
only had that job for like, gosh, I want to say 3 months or something. It wasn't very long. There's been a few jobs where he's only been there for a little bit, but the problem with that is for some reason I think he couldn't get back in the really great standing with the company that he had been working with at the time. So like when he got back home, like whoever was renting the place had totally trashed their house, and he got a job working for some lady's privately owned like laundry cleaning service or something, like running her business, and that didn't last very long. But he eventually, shortly after that, he started moving. He's moved around quite a bit since then. But he was in East Tennessee, in Sevierville, for about 8 or 9 years. And I've got a half sister who my dad adopted on my stepmom's side, and then I've got a stepbrother, and so they're all they're grown now.
Older or younger?
Oh, they're both younger than me. Yeah,
So your dad's still with us?
he is still.
Just to make sure.
Just to confirm.
Actually, I'm not going to lie. Ever since I started playing this podcast, I've not talked to him nearly as much because not every question is about the bar now. I mean, that was it's I'm really if he had passed, I would be a lot worse at this. I would know a lot less about running a bar. That's for sure.
Will you tell us a bit about HQs? Because that's your father, right?
Yeah, so my mom and dad opened HQs in '98, and HQs, the pool hall down the street,
Yep.
Used to be an adult video store. And my
Nice.
mom,
Buster or
I
like
did
triple
not
X?
know.
and as my mom would say it, my mom was the honey-do of the two of them. My mom likes being handy. She likes building things. And,
Oh, that's what that means.
I know, I raised my eyebrows.
yes.
Thank you for saying that.
yes, my mother likes carpentry. So she
I was
likes
picturing a melon.
So her and another customer from the Villager, I can't remember her name. She rode a motorcycle,
Nice.
and
Rhonda? Rhonda sounds
yeah, it was Rhonda.
Rhonda should be running.
Hi, hon.
I know that girl because she used to be at HQs. I used to party with her.
It was like a mixed lady. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, she had a sweet bike. Man.
Yeah, and her and my mother turned an adult bookstore into a bar.
Wow. Yes,
Whoa.
I knew her. Yeah. Man,
The
that's
same
so wild.
location?
Much like they try to do it next
No,
door.
not the location it is now. The one because they just
Right.
moved it.
Oh, I have a story about that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Well, let's go
that's
ahead.
yours?
We got to get going here in a minute, but let's squeeze that. You got a good story? Go for it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
Okay.
is it a Stephen
Yeah,
James?
yeah.
Nice.
So remember there was a shooting a couple years ago?
Oh
Was it
yeah,
the
yeah.
chicken
The
place?
HQs,
Yeah.
they all had to duck.
Yeah. And Steve and Jamie were there, and everybody, when they heard all the gunshots and everything go off,
Because it went through the windows. They all hid in the freezer, and Steve just left, and he went over to Cabana to get a shot, and he walked in, and he was like, I'll take a shot of whiskey, and everybody was like, what are you doing, Steve? Like, everybody's on lockdown, there was a shooting. And he was like, I was just there, it's okay, I just needed a drink.
Everything's fine. I really need a drink right
He was
now.
like, it's good, don't worry, they're figuring it out.
Yeah, they got it all worked out. That's funny.
Well, I thought Toby was opening the bar. I think I have to, apparently.
Yeah, he just kind of left.
We'll help you, we got you.
Anyway. All right, let's sign
You
us
are?
off. Why not?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh, I have
For
a
all
prop
of
All right.
too.
Who wants one? All right.
I'll
Okay.
do one.
All right. Well, here. How about we'll do this? I like paper, rock, scissors.
Paper,
You only
rock,
got-
scissors, it's rock, paper, scissors.
Right. Anyway,
I'll
rock, paper, scissors.
I'll concede.
Okay. All right. So
Gentlemen.
Tomas is going to be the gentleman. Okay.
Yes.
So Abby,
Tomas.
pick a deck of cards.
Yeah.
I pick?
No, Abby. Abby.
Why can't he pick?
Oh,
for
yeah,
me?
he can pick for her.
Yeah, you pick.
And
for
that-
me.
Because it's your
Well, no,
energy.
it's
yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
the ceremony is all about an individual interpretation.
Yeah. Oh.
This one's cool.
The anatomy one? Okay, open it up and pull out the cards. Think of a question and shuffle the deck 4 times.
Will you help me with the question?
I generally tell people not to tell anyone what the question is, so it's authentically what you might actually be wondering.
Oh, okay.
Put your energy into it.
Yeah.
Might have to move the bowls.
All right, JT, cue the funny music.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Susan just do that. It's too bad we can't cut to Journey.
Yeah.
Suzanne,
Mouth
don't
wah wah.
walk away. Yeah.
Yes, mouth wah wah pedal interpreted by Suzanne Crowley.
I'm trying to help her figure out a question.
I know. I can't think of the question. I'm blank.
Oh, come on. Anything.
Are the Bills gonna win the Super Bowl?
Okay, yeah, it works. Did you shuffle it 4 times?
I
Shuffle
did.
it. No, you got to do it after you think of the question.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Keep it in mind.
Here we go.
No, I'm not gonna say it.
Is Jonathan Coffey awake? Is that?
He was
I was
up
gonna say,
early.
is a prominent player from the Bills innocent?
Oh shoot! I don't know anything about that hockey.
My grandpa told me about that. My grandpa used to.
Okay.
Set it down.
So sit them there, and now mix them up on the table for as long as you want, and then put them back into a deck.
There you go.
Those cards don't mix very well because of the kind of
They're stiff.
material they're made out of.
Yeah.
So you say.
Yeah, so.
Do you think people still know that he played for the Bills?
The juice? The juice is loose?
Yeah.
So my grandfather told me, my grandfather used to work
I'd say
security
most
for the Bills.
Zennials don't.
And he was a New York State trooper. And last time I was home for the holidays, I saw my grandpa and I was like, what was it like? Like, what was it like when you met OJ? And he goes, I know he killed that woman. I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, when I was a police officer, he goes, when I was a police officer.
I
He
just want to say
knows.
clock Suzanne as you said that.
What is Suzanne
That's just like.
saying? I'm so glad we got that on
So
camera.
my grandfather had arrested OJ numerous times for public intoxication.
Oh,
This
yeah?
was when he still
Oh,
played
yeah?
for the Bills in Buffalo.
Was it in that same SUV?
I don't know if he had the
White
Bronco at the
Bronco?
time. Yeah.
He probably had many cars, honestly.
But my grandfather said when she was murdered, he went back because one of the biggest things in the court case was OJ always said he never wore the same shoes twice. Something about his shoes. And they found like the footprints.
Yeah.
And my grandfather said to me, he said, I went back and I found pictures of us in the press box together. And he looked and he's like, in these pictures, he had the shoes on that he claimed he never wore in the murder. Like, and that's one of the things that got him off
You
the
heard it
hook.
right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
You heard
And
it right
so
here.
my grandfather said, he said, you know, I sent the detectives working on the case in California these pictures of the press box with the shoes, and he's like, I never heard back from them. But he's like, and then he didn't know at the time. My grandfather's 94. Shout out Lloyd.
Oh wow.
And he said, he was like, you know, I sent them the pictures. I never heard back. And he goes, I just really hope like there was something. I know he did something. And then I told my grandfather that he actually did go to jail a couple years ago for like tax evasion or something.
I think it was for stealing
Or for
his
yes.
memorabilia back.
Yeah, he did something.
Because
Yeah.
that's a bigger issue.
Yeah.
Other time. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. He did do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the other thing he got on the news for. Yeah.
Right. But can we get that image that you were talking about?
You know, I asked him about it. I was like, do you still, granted, my grandfather's 94, but we'll see how the Bills do today. I'll call him. I'll see if my grandma can find it, and we'll get it.
Yeah, I'd love
Yeah.
to include it with the podcast. Since,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So
R.I.P. the
after that,
juice.
after that crazy story, we're gonna cut the deck with your cut the deck with your left hand. All right. Now discard the top part of the deck. The top part. Discard the top part. All right. And we'll just do a 3-card pull because shout out to Caitlin Rose for always nagging me about doing more than 3 cards. All right. So put you're gonna with your left hand put 1 card face down in front of you. Over to like the very front of you. There you go. Now put 1 in it. We're gonna make a triangle. Now take 1 from the top and put 1 to your right,
in the position of a triangle. All right, now put one to the left. All right, so this is called an angel reading. So the top card is your answer. If it's upright, it's yes. If it's reversed, it's no, because that's probably the kind of answer we're looking for. The one on your right is the Adam card, or the masculine, or the consciousness, how you see it. The left card is the subconsciousness, or the Eve, or the feminine principle, which is subconsciously what you're thinking or doing, acting out. And so Adam looks to Eve. Eve looks to the sky. As above is below. Now flip the top card from the side over. From the side. Yeah. So this card right, yeah, from the side. Yeah. No. Well, anyway.
There you are.
Here we go. Okay, the answer.
supposed to be here.
Okay. Okay. So Tomas's keen sensibility of time and place has led us to a no.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, she flipped it around. I was making it how it was
Now
supposed to be.
we could say so they could win or lose now. Anyway, so the
We're gonna go with yes.
I'm gonna go with we're gonna be friendly to Abby. We're gonna go, and we also want this really cool footage about OJ. So the answer is yes.
Blades.
All right, that is the
Just cut me
nine
doing
of
whatever I did.
that is the 9 of blades in this deck, which is the 9 of swords, which that's about anxiety. That's about sleepless nights. So it's about understanding that there's a lot of anxiety about the Bills winning, but they will overcome, or they're having to deal with anxiety. Probably because they have
The Bills are dealing with anxiety.
Collectively as a team and a fan base.
Or maybe you do. Anyway, so now from the side, flip over the right card. Right, the right one. Yeah, that one.
I'm so nervous now. I'm gonna fuck it up.
There you go.
Okay, you think they're gonna lose?
They are going against the Chiefs.
And that's the lover's card. That's about being afraid to tell someone something about your needs. So maybe you're afraid that they're going to, that what you need is them to win in order for us to get the OJ picture, and you're afraid to talk to your grandfather.
You know what it is? My grandmother, Kitty Schwab. Kitty said.
Kitty and Lloyd.
So
Love
the
story of the
Bills, if
century.
you guys know this, the Bills have been to the Super Bowl four times in a row, and they've lost every time, back to back to back. And what we call the Music City Miracle here, they don't really.
Oh, I'm
refer
sure
to
they
that.
don't refer to that.
Yeah. I've learned it's called a forward pass in Buffalo. But my grandma the other day, I was talking to her, and she's like, Abigail, I can't die until the Bills win a Super Bowl. So now I'm like, well, maybe I don't want them to win, so my grandma and my grandpa stay alive a little longer.
That
All
really is a thing. I know you want to close it, but let me close it for you with this. So I was in Chicago when they finally won, when the Cubs finally won the World Series. And so many people died immediately after that happened because they were trying to stay alive until they saw that. And then I mean, dozens. And it was just sort of like, and they were even caught on tape saying it like, well, I can die now. And they did. And it was like, what is this? But, yeah.
Did we find, did we find a way to be immortal? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, there's a real, and maybe Andrew can speak to this. But
I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to say there is a will to live, and we all have it. And when we're young,
I don't.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
true.
Toby.
Toby's opting out, but we all possess it. And when we're young, we don't know better than to question it. But as we age, it's sort of like, I kind of want to check out because there's not a lot more for me, but we all know that's not necessarily true. And so interactivity is really the best way, community is the best way to stay youthful and alive.
Hell yeah.
And so as Cubs fans, these guys lived as long as they could to see a true miracle happen, reversing the curse and all that sort of thing. Similarly, the Bills fans are hopefully going to do the same.
So you heard it here first. To
They
live
lost 4
longer,
times in a
cheer
row.
for a team.
Was it the Bills lost 4 times in a row, right?
I don't know. Ask a Bills fan.
Didn't they lose 4 times in a row?
They did.
Yes. So here's to Pat Holmes. May you lose so we can give a 94-year-old man in a really great disposition to give us something that we think is valuable, apparently. All right, so look over the last card. Yes. Yes. All right. Your subconscious also says no. All right, and that's the Ace of Coins reverse. That's about a loss of materials. That's just like, all right, a lot of people in Buffalo are gonna lose money.
That sounds about right.
You know, I don't know if anyone's ever read it, but I would recommend listening to it if you like audiobooks. But Green Light by Matthew McConaughey. It's his autobiography. One of my favorite books ever. But listening to it, he reads it out loud and he talks about
I bet he
how
sounds dreamy.
him and his brother's name is Rooster. Everyone calls him Rooster.
Yeah.
And it's multiple years in a row, him and Rooster are feeling lucky. His brother's a big gambler. And every year they bet on the Bills to win the Super Bowl. And I'm listening to it as I was driving home one day and I was like, don't do it. No, don't do it. And I kept losing all this money because they bet on the Bills to win, and I knew that didn't happen. But
All right, guys. Well,
I
I hope the Bills pull it out. Unfortunately, I have to open a bar. But thank you for tuning in to Villager People with Abby Trozenski and and Tomas Rechtman. Right, Rechtman. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
got Jack in the back and Sue Crowley over here.
thank you.
My co-host,
And Toby
Mr.
in the back.
Brennan Sharp, and yeah, so that's been another installment of Villager People. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.